In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down for you the charts for Bitcoin as well as what could have really pushed this sell-off to the limits today, breaking down the situation that has happened with the Luna token and the UST stablecoin. My name is Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. If you like that topic, you do like staying up to date with what's happening in this fast-moving cryptocurrency industry, a little tap on the thumbs up button would be, well, super awesome and much appreciated. Now let's just go ahead and get straight into these charts. Bitcoin trading around $31,000 at the time of recording this video. We did get under $30,000 today. Just briefly though, we didn't go too dramatically far under $30,000. We did not stay there for very long. It did get bid straight back up over $30,000, although with so much fear and uncertainty in the markets. How long that stays, well, is anybody's guess, of course. Now, what's very, very interesting is that we have now come back down into this area right here, which is the zone of support from last year's Bitcoin crash, the bearish period, mid-2021, where we saw the price of Bitcoin get as low as about $28,500 or so, $800. Very interesting to see us bouncing right around that level. If we hold above here, I think that'd be a very positive thing, obviously, for the price of Bitcoin. Are we going to hold above there? Well, a lot of fear in the market, a lot of uncertainty in the market, a lot of things that could still unwind. So it's nice to see us holding here now, but let's see how the next few days play out. Now, one very interesting thing I wanted to point out as well is the huge volume that we got actually coming through today. So you can see this is our candle right here for the daily volume for Bitcoin. Now, if we go and take a look back in history and see that daily candle right here, last time we had a daily candle that big, well, it was actually during the sell-off, May 19th, 2021. The time before that, well, it was just as the market started turning back in January 2021. So this is a pretty epically big day for Bitcoin volume. Bigger volume literally than we've seen in a year, and of course much bigger volume than we've seen in quite a long time. Last time, of course, was early January. We had that big sell-off, which was close to this daily volume, but not quite as high as this daily volume right here. Now, I did want to take a quick moment here to look at this as well. This is the RSI. We have now come down into the buy signal zone for the RSI, as we were talking about in yesterday's video. When we see an oversold reading on the daily for the RSI, historically, that has been a buy signal. So that means the market potentially is looking at a capitulation event here, and we could see this oversold RSI and the massive volume on the sell-off indicating that we are indeed facing a potential capitulation event. Now look, it's too early to say the bottom is in. Let's wait and see what the Federal Reserve says in a few days. I think that's going to determine the direction of equity markets. As I mentioned previously, if that is bad news, equity market's probably going to take another hit and crypto is going to get drug right down with it. So fingers crossed that the inflation data for April comes in a more positive way and that we have hit peak inflation. That should be a good bump for the markets. But right now, looking very interesting. We got our buy signal, a potential capitulation candle here with massive volume backing it up, bouncing off of the area of support from last year. Definitely keeping an eye on this. What's interesting too here is that this is the accumulation chart. Basically, most major addresses for Bitcoin have not really been doing too much accumulation since mid-April. Now, this chart's probably going to change a bit after today. I bet there is a lot of buying that has gone on, pushing the price back up, of course. We did probably get Luna selling off quite a bit of their Bitcoin. We'll talk about that more in a moment, but I wonder if we're going to see this bounce back up. But certainly over the past 3 to 4 weeks, there's been very little interest in buying Bitcoin. A lot of people scared of the macro scene, waiting to buy at lower prices, etc., etc. Interesting to see how that's going to reverse after today's sell-off. Now, fear, of course, reigning supreme in the markets. The current Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index reading is down at 10. Extreme fear. Again, when we have fear readings this low, it tends to be a time of opportunity. Just saying. I bought Bitcoin today. My buy order is at $31,000. I filled a little bit more Bitcoin, around $30,500. Not insane amounts, right? I didn't put all my stable coins in, but I definitely put some money in to the market today, enough to, be interesting at these price levels without a doubt. Curious though, I feel like even though this is saying 10 on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, I honestly feel like today is one of those days sentiment-wise that's quite rare in the market and really shows a level of fear, pessimism, despair that tends to come around these kind of capitulation events, potentially marking or coming near to bottoms in the market. Does that mean the bottom is definitely in? No. I have no idea if the bottom is definitely in or not. Certainly, though, there's some interesting indicators that are saying, well, it's a potential area where we can start talking about that, but we really need to see some strength build back into the market before we can say that, yeah, that was, for sure the bottom, right? And I know everybody likes to come out and make these calls early. Oh, it's the bottom end, the bottom end, the bottom end. Well, let's just see us build a bit of strength back in the market here before we get too excited. We do still have a lot of macro fear and big things afoot in the global markets. We have seen a lot of Bitcoin being sold off as well. TraderXO pointing out that we've had huge amounts of inflows happening to major exchanges. Huge amounts of Bitcoin going to Bitfinex, to Coinbase, to Binance. So that was in yesterday. Today, of course, we saw a lot of Bitcoin being sold off during this market correction. Now let's talk about the Terra Luna situation and the UST stablecoin situation. Because talking about selling off some Bitcoin, the Luna Foundation, the guys who bought $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, guess what? It's going back into exchanges. That didn't last very long. Seems like this could be a $1 billion mistake if they end up having to sell most of that. So this is their reserve wallets, currently down by 65% in balance. So that's gone down from 80,000 Bitcoin to 28,000 Bitcoin. Most of that being sent into exchanges. So you can see here, we had about 37,000, almost 38,000 of that Bitcoin going to exchanges. That's a lot. That's pretty damn crazy right there. So basically, we have a weak market. The UST stablecoin starts losing its peg, and it lost its peg in a very dramatic way. In fact, the UST stablecoin ended up being worth about 60 cents at its low point today. At the time of recording this video, it's only in the 70-cent range, so it's well away from its peg where it's supposed to be. UST stablecoins, like $18 billion or something of total market value across many chains, integrated into many DeFi protocols. It's a mess, this whole situation. And so the price of Luna has tanked. The price of the UST stablecoin has been depegged and also tanked. And so in order to try to pump that back up, it looks like the Luna Foundation Guard has been, dumping their Bitcoin like crazy, trying to get cash to push the price of UST back up. So basically, they've had to come in, sell during a weak market period, which of course just escalates the situation even more. Now, they did say that they've deployed $1.5 billion of that to a Bitcoin UST market maker. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that we did see a lot of that go into a market maker. But still, a lot of that Bitcoin has gone into exchanges, not just to market makers, or maybe they put more and more into the market maker. We haven't had a huge amount of communication at the time of recording this video from the guys over at Luna about the exactly where that Bitcoin has gone. So, I don't want to be drawing too many early conclusions here, but definitely even just the fear that this Bitcoin was being sold off could have weighed very heavily on the markets. Also want to share this with you from Lynn Alden. She said, if Luna has a similar price decline to Phantom or some of these other hard-hit cryptos, the UST peg would be at risk. As she says, if the UST peg becomes at risk, then the Luna Foundation Guard would be selling Bitcoin reserves into an already soft market. That type of event could mark a cycle capitulation, which could be what we're facing today. UST stablecoin kind of breaking, right? Luna price going down dramatically as people are rushing for the exits of UST, them being forced to sell their Bitcoin, pushing the price of Bitcoin down even more. Some pretty crazy stuff going on in the markets without a doubt. Larry Cermak saying there's currently a rumor floating around that Jump, Alameda, and some other big funds are putting together a $2 billion bailout fund for UST to try to push it back up to its peg. Whether this rumor is true or not makes sense for them to spread. The biggest question here is, even if they can get it back to $1, the trust will be irreversibly gone in UST. I think that is a very, very true statement. I think the UST stablecoin is going to struggle moving forward from here after having such a dramatic day. A lot of people lost a lot of money, have realized the losses at some pretty dramatic drawdowns on UST. So I'll be curious to see, of course, how all this plays out. A lot of drama today in the markets, which is usually how we see these kind of capitulation events happening in the markets, where there's lots of drama, things start to not work necessarily as they should, things start to break, people start to freaking panic in the markets. It's what happens, man. It's what happens. It's crazy stuff. Be curious to see if this ends up being a true rumor or not. So, question for you for today: was today's market action, was this a capitulation, or is the price of Bitcoin going lower? So as you can see right now, almost 3,000 people have voted. 20% saying the bottom end, 55% saying no, Lark, we are going lower. Remember, 28K would be an area we really want to see hold, because there really isn't much support under 28K until we get down to the low 20,000 range. So we shall, of course, wait and see if we get those low 20,000 come in. Is the crowd right here? Are people just too scared today? Is fear clouding everyone's minds? Is the contrarian saying that the bottom is in? Are they the ones that are right? Well, you can let me know your opinion down below in the comment section, or of course go over here on Twitter and vote on the poll as well. Final thought for today: this too shall pass. I know days like this can be scary in the market. Price of Bitcoin going crazy. And look, I've got a lot of exposure to UST, so, yeah. Anyway, this is crypto, man. It's crazy. It's volatile. It's panic-inducing sometimes, but this is the market that we are investing in. When you understand that the bearish periods are normal, and they're just as normal as the bullish periods in the market, you start to kind of accept that, well, this is the way of things. We have massive pumps and we have massive dumps, and high euphoria, terrible desperation and fear, all that fun kind of stuff, and the ballet of emotions that is investing in the cryptocurrency market. Am I going anywhere? Am I freaking out? No. I would like to just keep investing, keep buying Bitcoin, keep playing the long game, which is exactly what I am doing. As I said, I bought more Bitcoin today, around $31,000. If we dump some more, I'll buy some more. Playing the long-term game here. Crypto's not going anywhere. The fundamentals have never been better for this market. adoption's kicking off in a massive way. Yeah, the price is in the gutter. I know. But it's an opportunity if you look at it as an opportunity. Remember, daily RSI oversold, it's an opportunity. High fear rating like this, it's an opportunity. Doesn't mean we can't go lower, but I'm just saying it's a time of opportunity right now in the market. Anyway, enough from me for today. You'll let me know your thoughts on all this craziness down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.